Rolling along here, the Shield, or at the very least, just Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, have a match against Cody Rhodes and Goldust. They were talking about possibly doing 3-on-3, where they'd include Dean Ambrose and Dusty Rhodes, but I'm assuming that Dusty's probably not healthy enough that they can actually depend on him to perform. So they went with this one instead, which is fine, but I still kind of maintain my idea that I had mentioned before that I think what they should have done here is they should have included Dean Ambrose and they should have included Big Show on the Rhodes family side. And that way they could have held this kind of thing over his head where they said, look, Big Show, we want you to throw the match.
You gotta take a dive.
And, you've done everything else that we've said and you've been kind of going along with that. If you throw the match, we'll leave you alone and we'll keep you in your ironclad contract or whatever. And we just won't keep telling you to knock everybody the fuck out. But if you don't throw it, then you might get fired. And this would be that culmination to it where Big Show goes, no, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not going to do that. And he helps the Rhodes family get their jobs back. And, you can kind of move on from there. I don't understand why Dean Ambrose doesn't have a match. Maybe they are going to throw in some kind of a match like Dean Ambrose against Big Show. Or maybe they are going to include those people. I don't know. I doubt it, though. It's probably just going to end up being the 2-on-2. Which, match itself, that should be entertaining. I think, this will actually be one of the sleeper matches of the night.
I would actually, I would have Big Show involved, but I would have him knock out the ref so that it ends on a DQ, so no one wins. And then it continues. Big Show's crying, and they're telling him to get down and on the floor to go for the pin, and he's just sitting there and he's crying.
He's making that noise that he makes when he cries. Yeah. Big Show, he's like,
and then he turns around, hits the referee, and then the match is over by DQ.
I wish they kind of sat on this until at least until Survivor Series. Or at least they should have put this off at least until Survivor Series, but they decided to do it now because I think they could have done an elimination style match for the Roses job. I think that would have been a lot more interesting. But this besides for the pre-show, this is the only other match I'm really looking forward to. It's actually interesting. I get to see Goldust wrestle. That's always good. And I get to see the American Dream on the sidelines. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, that's fine.
Brian, what do you think?
Bye, Burhan.
Yeah, you know what? Screw Burhan. I'm talking. I think this. I gotta say, I actually liked everything about this matchup. I think the build-up's been great. I think the people involved are great workers. This is probably one of the more engaging matches we've had on this on a pay-per-view like this. So I'm really invested in this thing. As far as the conclusion, I'm gonna go with the Rhodes. I think you keep this going. You have the Rhodes sign back, and that leads to a bigger matchup down the line at the Survivor Series.
Okay, yeah, you could do with that. Yeah, like you said, this match has been built almost perfectly. I can't complain about anything. And I'm really glad that they brought Goldust back. That's the one thing I'm glad of about this whole thing. And it makes Cody Rhodes looks like a boss in the process.
I never realized how great Goldust was. I went back and watched a bunch of his early 1996 promos that he did back when he still had Terry as his manager. That gimmick, man, was just so ahead of its time. I wasn't a wrestling fan at the time, so that's why it surprises me.
Dace, give us your insight.
Okay, baby. This is what the American Dream thinks, baby. I'm going to make a special return with my chocolate pudding, and we're going to walk down that ramp. We're going to enter Battleground like only Rhodes do, and we're going to be jiggling all over the place. And when we get in that ring, I'm telling you, the American Dream, baby. The American Dream. I'm going to get my bicycle, and I'm going to watch my gold-painted freak of a boy and my other son that's actually talented, because he's really talented. Cody's a talented one. Dustin, I dropped him on his head. The Four Horsemen actually took side story because the American Dream doesn't stay on script. He accidentally brought Dustin to an old NWA show, what I'm telling you, baby. And the Four Horsemen shoved that baby's head between a car door and slammed it a couple times just to get under the American Dream's skin, brother. Okay? Well, anyway, I don't know where I'm at. So I'm going to go with Ric Flair in 3. I'm out.
What do you think, Peyton?
I think has a lot of potential to be match of the night. I think there's a lot of story that could be told in this. In the end, I see the Shield winning this.
Ooh.
And I see one of the Rhodes turning on the other one. More than likely, I see Goldust turning on Cody, causing the loss, because Goldust has secretly made a deal with the establishment where he's going to get a contract if he causes that loss. So he has guaranteed work no matter what. He didn't have to worry about taking the risk of the match. He gets guaranteed work because of it. And the establishment gets out of it, well, we wanted to get rid of that old bag from the developmental, and Cody's really not that much of a star. You know, he's only a C minus, so we can afford to lose him. And that'll continue that there. Cody can continue fighting for his job. Goldust gets to be back in a, I'm not going to say a big prominent role, but a role. He's going to be part of the establishment. And I think what they're going to do is they're going to strip him of his makeup, put him in a suit. Because if you notice, he's been wearing that makeup a lot lately. And at times when he really normally shouldn't be wearing that makeup. So I think they're going over the top on purpose. So it's that much more noticeable when he removes it later on.
Well, like I said, I'm a lot younger than you guys, but did the Goldust character in the 90s, did he not wear the makeup all the time?
Yeah, he wore it all the time.
He wore it all the time, but you didn't really see him in other situations.
Oh, okay.
It's not like now where you would see him come out in a regular business suit. Like if he came out, he would always be in his bodysuit and be in full makeup, full wig, everything. But then you would see him without the, because you know when you saw him without the makeup, when he did that interview about his marriage with Terry.
Oh yeah, that's
he didn't
true.
wear makeup during that.
Then he called her names and walked off.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Bearhan's back. Hey, what's up?
I'm going in and out of consciousness.
Wait, WWE creative here?
Yep.
Wake the fuck up, Vince Russo.
I gotta go with Cody and Goldust coming out on top here, and I think that Big Show is going to be some kind of an influence here. I could see them doing something where Dean Ambrose is on the sidelines and Dusty Rhodes is on the sidelines, and they kind of like get into a little bit of a spat, and then Big Show comes in and he's the one who kind of like saves the day, and then Cody and Goldust capitalize on there. Mostly because I think that we're going to get some kind of a match that involves the Shield and two other people at Survivor Series, and Big Show and Cody Rhodes are going to be two of the people on that team, but I don't think Goldust will necessarily be. I don't know who would ever follow the other people. I mean, Big Show, there's a chance that he could have a match with The Miz during this whole situation instead. Or the three of them could be on this Survivor Series team. Dolph Ziggler could be on the team. Whatever they end up doing, Big Show is a huge part of this, and the fact that he's not on the pay-per-view in a match yet either means that they're going to throw another match on here, or he's going to get involved in this match.
Or they're going to do a vignette of him crying.
Oh God, I hope that they don't do anything like that. But I got to go with Cody Rhodes and Goldust here, and I'll go even further to say that I think Cody Rhodes is going to pin Seth Rollins out of the whole thing. I don't think they're going to give it to Goldust, and I don't think that they're going to have Roman Reigns take the pinfall, because they made a pretty big splash about the idea that Roman Reigns got pinned during that 11-on-3. I think that they even said that was the first time he's ever been pinned in WWE.
Yeah.
So I think that they're going to kind of keep that going, and Seth Rollins is a really easy target for just taking the pinfall. So give that to Cody, fuck Seth Rollins in the process, and have Big Show be one of the people that influences the end of this match. And I think that's where they're going. Since you didn't answer before, Burhan, what do you think is going to happen?
To me, the whole issue with the Rhodes family thing, it's a great idea on paper, that the fact that they've done this, it elevates both guys. I'm going to go with Screwjob. I think that Cody's going to end up taking the fall, and it's going to be because of Goldust.
I don't understand where this whole mindset of Goldust is gonna screw out his father and brother. Has there been
because he's been pushing for a Rhodes versus Rhodes WrestleMania match, so why not start it now? And it's a good idea for him aligning himself with the establishment because then he's like the guy who's getting the job.
That's exactly. I think Miguel was questioning what the motivation for it would be, and it would be that he has been unemployed or he's had to work at places he didn't want to work during very dark places of his life.
Black Raids.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And he wants that comeback. He wants one more chance at glory. And he knows if he's aligned with the people in charge, he knows he's got a good shot of doing that.
You don't think
Exactly.
it's
And his dad basically even cut a promo saying that he wouldn't decide which child he was going to basically let them like rehire. So he can also go into the fact that saying that his father was selfish because he couldn't make that choice.
Yeah, you guys don't think that it's a little bit too early to be talking about setting up something for WrestleMania like that?
Never
I don't think
too
it'll
early.
be. I don't think it'll be a rest. That'll be a Survivor Series match, maybe a Royal Rumble match. I don't think they could stretch it out to WrestleMania.
What do you mean? I thought this was like as big as Cena versus The Rock.
It's
So
a
then
good way
how
to
do they-
establish it.
How would you give Cody Rhodes his job back if this is for his job?
Me? Are you asking me?
Peyton and Burhan.
Oh, I thought you said me. Never mind. Continue, guys.
You could do that anyway. I mean, the Vince McMahon can come back and decide that he's against them, and you could try to override some way to get Cody a temporary contract. You could pull Linda in, I guess, if you really want to. They've seemed pretty open to giving multiple chances. Maybe down the line they'll be convinced into giving Cody another chance. Maybe that'll be the first time we see Cody come back is when he faces Goldust at, say, Survivor Series, and Cody really is just gone for this time. Or maybe you put him under a mask. Put him under a mask, and he could be Juan Rhodes.
Where has Vince been in all of this?
He's coming back.
Just tag him up with Bo Dallas and it could be Bodie Rhodes.
Bodie Bodes.
They're gonna bring back Vince, from what I'm hearing. He's gonna be against his son-in-law and daughter.
See, I think
he was all for it, so how does that work?
Yeah,
Gonna be
God,
relaunching.
this storyline's starting to make no sense at all.
See, I
It's
think
a
what
dip-
we're going to get here is we're going to get them keep their jobs, but we are going to eventually see Goldust turn on Cody Rhodes. But I don't think that that's going to happen real soon. I think that they're going to kind of keep this going until after Survivor Series. And then we'll see a match between the two of them, maybe as a singles match at TLC, maybe at Royal Rumble. I don't really know.
You want to know?
I don't think we're getting this for WrestleMania whatsoever. And I think if we don't get it by Elimination Chamber as maybe like a little buffer thing there, then we're probably not going to get it, period. But I could see Goldust turning on Cody after he's already gotten their contracts, and they can do something where it's just like you get the contracts and now they're wrestling and we're kind of getting used to everything, and then they get the whole turn. Maybe Goldust just turns heel because he's an asshole. Maybe it doesn't have anything to do with Triple H whatsoever.
I think they could possibly do. If they could make it to WrestleMania, I think that what they could do is they could have the Rhodes win their contracts back, and maybe they're like, oh, maybe these guys aren't good enough to win the tag team titles, so they put their contracts on the line against the tag team titles, and they win that. So they have those for a little while, maybe up until TLC or Royal Rumble, and then you have the Goldust turns on Cody type of thing, and then that sets them up for the WrestleMania. You could do it like that.
Yeah, that might happen. They might have a tag title match at Hell in a Cell even.
Yeah,
Isn't this match for the tag belts?
No, it's just for their jobs.
Which is one of the reasons why I think that you got to end up going with Cody Rhodes and Goldust winning it, because the titles aren't on the line. I don't know.
I'll say this.
Could just be trying to throw you for a swing.
Might be.
I'll say this. If they do ever turn Goldust heel, I think they should drop the face paint, because the face paint has become so connected to the face Goldust now with this new generation. I think if they really want to do a successful heel turn with him, they gotta scrap the face paint. They gotta just have him kind of like when Val Venus came back as Chief Morley. Just drop the gimmick and just have him be a henchman for the administration. Have him come back as Dustin Rhodes. Sorry about that. I'm eating dinner.
Even better, Dustin Runnels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'd probably go with Dustin Rhodes, but that would be good. I mean, that they did reference Virgil Runnels.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be fine with that. I mean, I really actually would rather that happen than Cody Rhodes versus Goldust, because it's a little bit weird when you have the Goldust character come out and you're supposed to boo him now. I mean, when he originally came out there, it made sense, but he's become such a joke that wouldn't be like creepy or anything anymore. I don't think that he'd be able to pull it off. I think that if he comes out and he's just like, look, enough of this Goldust shit. I'm pissed off. I'm Dustin. You might know me as Seven. Then that might be the better way to go.
I know what they could do with this. They could build to a match between Goldust and Cody Rhodes, and it could be a match for custody of Dakota.
That wasn't even good when it was Guerrero versus Ray for custody of Dominic. Let's not bring that.
Okay.
Let's not do that match again.
But they used to talk about Dakota like all the time. Bring her back. Let's see how Dakota turned out. Never hear about
Is she
that.
like in her 20s now? She's my age at this point.
Probably.
Maybe they should just combine their efforts and call Dakota that rat that he used to hold in TNA. What was that called?
Oh, Misty.
Misty. Just Dakota, Misty.
The
same thing.
Arctic Fox.
We'll have a Dakota
That's
and
a
a
rat.
cage on a pole match. Jesus God. All right, enough TNA talk. We're going to go into part 9, World Heavyweight Championship, Alberto Del Rio and Rob Van Dam.
Wait,
Finally.
it's either TNA or RVD versus Del Rio. Can we talk about TNA? We
We
really got to talk about RVD versus Del Rio?
Go ahead.
Yes,
No,
we
Del Rio.
could this please be like a 5-second video? Just be like, yeah, we all think Del Rio's gonna win. Next.
RVD versus Doritos, man.
Everybody shrugs.
Shrug.
What does Fox say?
All right, guys,
Fox
we're
says
going to
shut
roll
up.
along into part 9 coming up right now.